Welcome, everybody, to We Talk Raw. I'm already dancing this morning. It's only 10:30 in the morning. I am here with some delicious matcha tea, and my guest today is Trica Patrice.
Hi.
Did I say it right?
Yes.
Trica Patrice.
Yes, you killed
Welcome,
it.
welcome. We are here to talk about the courage in finding your calling. So let's get to it. So let's just start with how I met you. How did we meet?
Oh my gosh. I met you, I think, 2 years ago?
Definitely,
yeah. 2 years ago?
Mm-hmm.
Probably in the summer like this, doing some great yoga.
Yeah, doing some yoga
And
where you live, right?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And I heard you playing a Taylor Swift song, and I walked up to you after class and I was like, I loved your entire playlist.
Oh my God. 2 minutes in, we already brought up Taylor Swift. Yes. I'm done.
And yeah, we just got connected that way. And
yeah. Well, I think it's very appropriate that we met through yoga, because this whole episode is going to sort of surround around your journey in yoga, with yoga, and where you are now and what you're doing. So let's talk about where you were. Let's talk about your past.
That's always a fun journey.
How old were you when? I'm just kidding.
I know. So I don't know if you know this, but I am from Charlotte.
Ooh,
born and
unicorn.
raised. I am. Believe it or not, a lot of people don't believe me when I tell them I'm from Charlotte. Mm-hmm. They're like, no, you're from the Valley. And I'm like, no, I'm from Charlotte, East Side. But I was from here. I was raised in foster care, and I was adopted at the age 6.
Wow.
And so I had, over the span of being in foster care and being adopted, I had over 11 brothers and sisters. I know my mom's an angel. Shout out to Jill Johnson.
Oh my gosh.
Cindy Scruggs.
Saint.
And so I, was always involved in being around people, different types of people, different backgrounds, races, genders.
You must be very versatile in a lot of environments.
I think that's my greatest strength, honestly, because especially now being an adult, you can know how to talk to so many different types of people. Not realizing that at such a young age, already getting that skill set.
Is it a struggle, though, sometimes to not be a chameleon in a way, because you're that you don't want to just blend in. You also want to maintain that independence?
Yeah. I wouldn't say I'm a chameleon, but I would say I've never had a click because I come from such a diverse background. So I have never had I'm only with this type of people. I always have floated and hung out with so many different types of people, which again is a blessing as well. Maybe an adolescent or a teenager, especially in high school, not really knowing my calling yet and where I belong. But that was a struggle. But now, now that I know who I am and I'm confident in who I am, I like that I don't have cliques. And I get to be able to express myself to so many different types of people. So, yeah. So when I was young, I was put into dance, and that was my first love, was dance. So I was a competitive dancer for 18 years, went to school and danced at UNC Charlotte for 4 years.
Stayed in Charlotte. The unicorn stays.
Go Niners. And then after college, I taught dance for 5 years, on top of working many, many jobs. So I've always been a grinder. When I went to school, I thought I was going to be a news anchor or radio host.
Oh, I could see that.
So I went to school for communications, mass media, and I got a job at WCCB and was a news editor. And that was really, really depressing. The news is sad, right?
Oh, right.
Reporting on,
car crashes and deaths and
fires, shootings. It was a very sad job for me, and I quickly realized this is not it. Then moved into a administrative job. I've always been a very organized, type A, happy to help type of person. So I became an administrator, an executive assistant, which led me into HR. Because I was an assistant to the VP of HR. And I was like, this seems right up my alley. This is a people-oriented, type of role. I like people. I like to help. And I wanted to move off of this rock of being a administrator or an executive assistant. So that's how I found my way into the HR world. Did that for a little bit until I didn't anymore.
Until you didn't anymore, and that's why you're here, baby.
Yeah, so
let's get to the fun stuff.
That's like the brief version of my background.
So let me ask you, like, what were the signs that you weren't really super fulfilled in your HR role?
I wouldn't say I wasn't fulfilled in the role. I would say the space I did it in was
like the environment.
Yes,
Got it.
Exactly. I've always wanted to champion and live by love what you do and people who you do it with. And if you're not doing that, it becomes really sickening.
So you just know when it's time to move on.
Right. So, and if you don't know, sometimes the universe does.
Exactly. And they'll do it for you.
Literally, right away, will pluck you out and pop you like a zit. Sorry. That was
so eloquent.
Yeah.
I love it. No, it's true though.
But yeah, so if you're not paying attention to those signs that you're unhappy in a space, sometimes something will remove you from
100%.
that. So, May of last year, I was laid off, and then I was able to bounce back or find a position pretty quickly, like 2 weeks later. Like, that's really, really quick.
Yes.
Especially like in this like recession era that we're in. Like, it's usually takes people after getting laid off anywhere from like 6 months to a year to find another job. And so I was able to find one pretty quickly. So 2 weeks later, I was in another new HR position. And
then what?
The same thing happened again. Like,
the universe is like, girl,
you're not supposed
we're trying to show you.
You're not supposed to be here. So I decided I was going to take the rest of the year off last year and to really sit and think about what it is that I want to do with my life. Like, I don't want to just like fill out applications every night and just like send them in and not really being intentional with like my purpose, my talents, my gifts. Like, I've always wanted to own my own business, but I didn't know exactly what it was that I wanted to do. Like, did I want to have a dance studio? Did I want to have a restaurant? Did I want to do something with yoga or meditation? Like, I had so many ideas that it was becoming almost paralyzing because I couldn't concentrate on one. So I was like, all right, time out. Let's just take the rest of the year off. So like October through December to really sit and like try and figure out the future of your life. Nothing came.
The universe doesn't care about time. I've realized that. The universe isn't like, oh, well, you're this age. This should be happening.
Yeah, no, nothing came. January got here and I had nothing. Like, so yeah, I'm starting to freak out. Like, money's starting to run low. I'm like, maybe I should go back. Maybe I should get the applications going again. And right when I had that thought, something really special happened.
Love it.
And that's where I really was able to write the business plan for my new baby.
Which is, drum roll.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Matcha Mondays.
Matcha
Pop-up
Mondays.
Bar edition, because Matcha Mondays was just a series online initially to spread light and love. I don't know if you caught on to it or ever saw.
I definitely followed you. Yes.
Or saw my post.
Yes.
But it was something that I did for about 2.5 years.
So on social media, you would drop mantras on Mondays that were inspiring, empowering.
Yeah. 2 years to hold myself accountable.
Easter eggs. Were you Easter egging?
No,
Trica
I wasn't even intentionally Easter egging
because you didn't know that what it was going to turn into.
No
idea. Got it.
I am Easter egging now.
Got it.
So in my post, in my like things that I wear, I am dropping hidden gems. Even in my logo, I don't know if they can put up my.
Oh, it's up there.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, it's up there.
What do you see in the logo? Like in the heart of it, or in the
the heart.
What
heart
else?
and a
What
leaf,
else do you see?
like a leaf,
But what else?
tea leaf,
Yeah.
a V.
Not a V.
Oh my God, I feel like I'm being tested.
What is it?
I don't know. You tell me.
Do you see another Do you see any other letters?
A letter in the logo.
Yeah.
I do not. So share it with us.
Stacked up.
Wise?
M's.
Oh, M's. I could see that.
Matcha Monday.
I love that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Gosh, I failed that test.
It's okay. It's okay. You get an A for effort. She was sweating.
A for effort.
Yeah. So like putting like little gems and
Love
being
it.
intentional.
So the 2 years that you were posting, you weren't sure what it was going to
that
lead into.
Yeah. And so sometimes like you're probably doing something right now that you don't even know.
Right. That what it's going to lead to.
Yeah.
But that's like almost where the intuition part comes in. It's like you go where you're feeling pulled and trust that it might turn into something bigger.
Right.
So why don't let's backtrack and talk about exactly what it is, what you do, and then how you got into that, like the other piece.
So the series starting from there.
The Matcha Monday. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So when I was working in corporate America, I meditated a lot. Like
you got to probably, right?
At least minimum 5 times a day. And I was just doing it off of my phone, guided meditation through like Peloton. Really amazing. They're great. And like I loved it. Like I wanted to be them. I wanted to be a meditation instructor. I wanted to be a yoga instructor. Like they gave me so much peace of mind and calming, and they were helping so many people like throughout people's work days that are having like panic attacks at their desk. So I loved mantras. Okay. That's one piece. I did not necessarily love Mondays at all because I was in panic mode constantly.
Did you get the Sunday blues?
Yeah, Sunday. What is it? The Sunday scaries.
Sunday scaries. Yeah.
So like, I needed to turn my Sunday scaries into magical Mondays. I needed to do something that was going to help me get through not just my Monday, but my entire week, because I was in a very unhealthy work environment. And again, I loved what I did. It was the space that it was in. So all of this to say, I also loved matchas, and matchas were kind of expensive to get all the time. So I was like, all right, I'm going to limit myself to 1 matcha a week. I'm going to treat myself on a Monday, and I'm going to post a mantra as well. This was also during a time social media was very toxic, and I think social media is still pretty toxic, and I have tried to really eliminate those accounts that push for that negative energy and try and only follow like what fills my cup. And so I was really done with Instagram and social media, and I was getting ready to delete all of my social media accounts. And I'm like, why do I have to leave a space that I like? Like, I love posting pictures. I like seeing other people take pictures. I like liking and commenting and giving people positive love under their stuff and content. So why do I have to leave? Like, same for jobs. I loved my job, but it was so unhealthy. I needed to leave. Right. So change the narrative, right? So let's get online and spread some light and positivity. So that's where that series came from, was just spread light and love, champion your Mondays, and post some mantras, okay? And treat yourself to a matcha. So did that. Fast forward to January 2024. I was asleep mid-January, sleep in my bed, and I... Side note, suffer from severe nightmares, like night terrors. Like, wow, really bad. I've always had them. Like, so I'm always like 9 times out of 10 going to have a nightmare at night. I know.
It's horrible.
I know. But this night, I wasn't dreaming at all. And I woke up out of my sleep, just like asleep, awake. I woke up and walked to my desk and started writing. Just turned on my computer, but didn't even type anything, but wrote. I wrote out a list of all the things that I love. So meditation, matcha, all the things I don't like. Don't like this. Don't like that. All the things that I wish I had. Okay. And I combined the list. Okay. Start circling, start scratching, and came up. Oh, another background. I don't know if you know this. So for a lot of the jobs I used to do, I would plan events. I love event planning. I love hosting. It's that admin piece of me. Being the hostess with the mostess. But I really love hosting intimate events, dinner parties, birthday parties.
So everything just started to sort of blend together in what you were formulating.
Right. And so we came up with the Matcha Monday pop-up bar.
And so what does that, so you go to spaces, explain from brass tacks, pop-up tea bar. So you announce where you're going to be, a yoga studio, a dance studio, and then you go for a period of time.
Right. So we just launched this month, June 3rd.
Congratulations, by the way.
The first Monday of the month. And so we're starting small, right? So I am targeting yoga studios, wellness studios, dance studios, spaces that promote healthy lifestyles. I actually have a meeting after this interview for a private event. So like bridal showers.
Nice.
You can request like a bridal shower, a birthday party, a baby shower. So I'm catering to a very small audience right now. But maybe in a month or two, you could see me in a larger space.
And maybe with
somewhere.
Employees and multiple
a team for
pop-ups.
Sure.
Yeah.
I definitely need a team because you can't do it all alone. You really can't. You got to have support. So
100%.
Yeah.
So what I love, because I've led many yoga teacher trainings and taught the philosophy and the history and the Sanskrit and all that stuff of yoga, is a mantra is ultimately meditation, right? So like if you go back to the philosophy, it's like you take a mala bead and you say the same thing in Sanskrit back then, right? Over and over and over again. And it's ultimately, a mantra is the buzzword you're manifesting, right? So I really like what you're doing, because by putting the mantra out there, and if someone looks at it and says it to themselves, that you're actually putting that energy out into the universe, right? And so I think that's a really cool part, that you're almost putting a deep history of yoga into a modern day business.
Yeah. And like turning off of that negative thoughts, because we all have them, even myself having to constantly switch my brain.
Oh, I catch myself all day, every day. I'm like, I am a healer, I'm a yogi, and I'm still shaming myself. Like, what is going on? Help me. I need some more matcha.
This is us trying.
Which, by the way, this is delicious.
Thank you. Yeah, that lavender honey is like
so good. Lavender haze.
I just want to stay.
We love Taylor. And that lavender
haze. Okay. What was the question?
We love Taylor Swift. That's the question.
Oh, you were just saying like
the mantra, like the energy of a mantra. Yeah, it's ultimately you're saying the words, the vibrations going out into the universe, and so that's what you're asking for and calling in.
Right.
So if you want to get deep, right, your mantra is something simple of like, what's an example of a mantra? Like, what would you say on your cup? What would you say today?
So the mantra of the week is stand in your strength.
Stand in your strength.
And I have a mantra of the month, which is, are you on my newsletter?
No, I need to
get added to it.
Yeah.
But the mantra of the month is do what you can. So right before I launched the business, obviously I'm panicking, I'm spiraling. I'm like, is this the right time? Is this like really happening? And there's never going to be a right time. There really isn't.
And let's talk about that, because we're talking about the courage, right? So like, tell us briefly like that step where it was the thought, it was an idea, and then the action that you took. Like that's what the courage piece is. Like, can you tell us that little, that space right there?
That was the hardest for me. When I'm scared, You can fleet, run the other way. You can fight it, or you can freeze. And I'm a freezer. I just don't move.
I would too if I had all those nightmares, girl. Dang.
Right. I know.
Scary.
Nightmare just in a, what is it?
The Taylor Swift song?
Yeah.
I don't know. Must be older.
Daydream. Nightmare just in a daydream. Something like that. Yeah, that's me. So yeah, just the scariest part was
taking the action.
Doing the action, because I can be creative in my mind all day long. I can create and craft and, write stories and choreograph dances in my head all day long. And then when it comes time to do it, I freeze. So getting over and defrosting myself to actually
I love that. Defrosting myself.
Literally,
that's great.
I had to. And I couldn't do it alone. So I was constantly talking to other female business owners, like weekly, sometimes twice a week. Katie,
from the Coterie.
Woo, like woo. Love her. She literally
She's a rock star.
Is a big part of where I am today with this business. The words that she told me, and
she's done it. She moved to Charlotte and started this badass yoga studio.
The encouragement that she gave me the next day, I went straight to the yoga studio and I told her about the business plan I just wrote at 3 a.m. in the morning. And she was like, "You're on your way." And that changed my life. Seriously, it's one of my slogans.
Well, let's talk about how the yoga piece really you said you're newer to the yoga journey and how that really
and
changed your
Katie
life.
And the Coterie. Yeah. So I didn't really do yoga in college. I was a dancer, but I was never really doing yoga. I was just kind of running on the treadmill or running outside. And that was my form of exercise outside of dance. And so during COVID, you're in lockdown, you're in quarantine. I was trying to find ways to still stay active. And I'm sorry if this offends anyone. I actually had a really good time during COVID and isolation. It gave me...
I don't disagree.
A lot of peace. I know a lot of other people were upset that their favorite bar was closed and they couldn't get their Jack and Coke at the local bar. But I actually really enjoyed that time of isolation and slowing down because I was, again, working multiple jobs, just running from this job to that job. And it gave me time again to really figure out what I wanted to do and who I wanted to be. So anyway, I would do this, that's my country coming out.
Yeah, girl.
Online yoga with Danielle Terrell called Dancers for Yoga. And she would do yoga poses and then at the end mix all the poses and make it into a dance.
Ooh, that's cool.
I loved it. Danielle, if you're listening, please bring that back. That's whose dance studio I was just at this morning at the pop-up bar.
Oh, nice.
So again,
all
still
comes together.
Connected.
Yes.
Literally, the community is so good, and we don't stay gone from long. We still find ways to pour into people's cups. So, anyway, so fast forward to maybe 2022, end of 2022. My family and one of my sisters ended up moving away, and there was a reason behind that, but I didn't realize how much it affected me until it did, and I actually went through a really bad panic attack. Again, just sitting, I was fine, getting ready to watch, what's that show called? White Lotus.
That song. I love that song.
So good. Dancing in the living room, just spinning. But right before I went to watch it, I had one of the biggest panic attacks of my life to the point where it lasted 2 weeks.
Wow.
I couldn't stop shaking. I couldn't stop feeling fearful. And yoga was the only thing that got me to...
Do you mean physical yoga?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not just meditation.
Probably got you back in your body.
Yeah. It's the only thing that helped me feel grounded. Because I didn't feel I felt, what's the word? Literally out of my body.
Yeah.
So yoga is the only thing that made me feel back alive again, stable, grounded, centered, balanced. And so I started these like living room yoga sessions, and I would post it online. And I had a friend say, hey, there's this new yoga studio opening. I see you do yoga like almost every night and you're posting it. You should come check out this new yoga studio, the Codier. And I went and I was like, I'm home.
Aww.
Like,
and then that really sparked like your whole
it
community,
just
your yoga journey.
It became a part of my routine, and I wanted to invite and tell everybody about it because it was such a beautiful space. And like, that's what Charlotte and every community wants and need, a space where people feel welcome, that they feel like they're loved. Like, I walk into the doors and the owner is literally reaching out to hug me as soon as, but she doesn't just do that to me. She does it to everybody.
I think community is so important.
Yes.
Yeah. Like the gym I go to, I'm not necessarily there for the gym. I'm there because same thing. When I walk in, it's like, I've done this jab cross hook a million times, but I'm here with my people. I love that.
It makes a big difference. Like those small little things.
Connections. Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
So that's kind of where I'm at with yoga. I'm there almost every day.
Killing it.
Get enough, sometimes twice a day.
Yes, yeah. I love it. And that was your first pop-up, right? Your first Mantra Monday pop-up.
Yeah. So Katie has like been one of my biggest cheerleaders. And immediately was like, you should serve here. And so I've been there every Monday. And maybe more to come. More to come.
Well, speaking of more to come, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.
Oh, love it.
After a word from our sponsors.
If silence isn't your jam, but you're out of playlists, let rBeatz.com fill your ears with beats that never sleep. Picture this. It's 2 a.m., you're up late working on that big project, or maybe just can't sleep. You need something to set the mood, keep you company, or just give that burst of midnight energy. That's where we come in. rBeatz.com offers an unbeatable mix of music streaming 24/7, ensuring there's always a beat to match your heartbeat, no matter the hour. Flip through an eclectic selection from hip-hop to indie. Early morning jazz to set up your day, or some pumping house to kickstart your night out. We've got it all. And the best part? It's all curated to keep you grooving, thinking, relaxing, or whatever your vibe is round the clock. So, why limit yourself to time zones when you can tune into timelessness? rBeatz.com is your go-to, anytime, every time. Hit play, let's sway with rBeatz.com, where the music never stops.
And we are back. I'm here with Trica. We're talking about matchas, mantras, Mondays, yoga, and maybe a little bit of Taylor Swift. Have you seen Taylor Swift?
I have.
Oh my gosh.
Have you seen her
I
live?
have not.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so sad. I know. I'm not living. I'm not human.
I might have something for you.
A ticket? Oh my God. Are you pulling a ticket out of your purse?
I might.
The best day of my life.
But I saw Taylor opening weekend in Arizona. I flew across the country.
The first Eras show.
The very first, or night two, but the first.
Right. First weekend.
The weekend. And that was really special because I thought that was just really cool to be able to
oh my gosh,
fly across the country to go see one of my favorite artists. And so I started listening to her in college, and she played at the PNC, and I lived right next to there, and I couldn't even afford her back then. I was so broke. And so I thought it was so cool to be able to fly across the country to go see her live. Like the journey, you know?
Yes, like it's an experience.
Yeah.
Yes. What I think is amazing about Taylor Swift and what we're talking about is if you look at her songs are mantras, right? Like she has those one-liners that you get the chills and you're like, yes, that really just empower people, right? They send out that good energy. Don't you agree?
I find her music to be very therapeutic, and I think that's why one of the many reasons why I love her so much are her lyrics. And I didn't even think about her lyrics being mantras.
It just came to me. I know. Those one-liners, you know, the one-liners that get stuck in your head. It's just like I wake up at 3 a.m. with a Taylor Swift song in my head. Yeah. Not a business plan.
Hey, it could come. Well, when I was making the business plan at 3 a.m., I was also singing in my head, I Miss You by Miss Sparkling. Kind of meaning... as much as
Get your sparkle
am
back.
I exiting out of like a corporate America world, the comfortability, yes, I miss, but I miss sparkling and shining my lights. I'm a little too colorful sometimes for those spaces.
Yeah.
And
everybody has their own path.
Yeah.
You know, some
so,
people are meant to do that sort of work.
Yeah.
We've talked about that a bunch on the show, but I just had a healer tell me the other day, she's like, you need to not do things that don't bring you joy.
Yeah,
like you are not serving the collective. But some people might be totally content with just not finding, you know, joy in everything they do.
Yeah.
So it's just, everybody's different.
That's not me though.
Exactly.
And so yeah.
So you're sparkling, baby.
We're going to have a sparkling
You're
summer.
bejeweled.
We're going to have a very sparkling summer. I just got back from Paris to see her.
Again, jealous.
It was so good.
So speaking of sparkling, how can people find the Sparkling You? Follow you on IG, your newsletter.
Yeah, so Matcha Mondays on Instagram will list literally the week before where our pop-ups will be available to the public.
And how far are you booked out if I owned a business and I was watching this and I wanted to have you come into my place of establishment?
We're just getting started.
So you have availability.
I do have availability right now, but literally as soon as I walk out of here, I'm on business calls to book events. So
and for the record, it's not just Mondays.
It's not just Mondays. That's why we have the S on the end. Like, we want Mondays to be every day. I think even on my bio on my page it says, "Can every day be Matcha Monday?"
Right.
Like,
because you're making people like Mondays,
right?
In a way.
Right.
So why not keep it going?
It's the new Friday.
Got it. Love it.
Or Thursday, whatever. But yeah, it's every day.
Okay. So Matcha Monday on Instagram, and then your newsletter.
The newsletter. So if you want to get added to our newsletter, literally just send me your email address and I'll pop you in. We have a monthly mantra of the month, and it kind of just elaborates on more in depth, because on Instagram I post the weekly one where it's just like a mantra, but the newsletter I get to kind of go more in depth.
Like you explain it more, have like a personal story. Got it. Exactly. So 2 closing questions. What's your favorite yoga pose?
Okay, I have 2. No, 3. I give you 3. I love Warrior 2. I could literally hold Warrior 2 the whole hour class. It just makes me feel so powerful and strong. Mm-hmm. I also like the way my legs look in that pose.
Yes, girl.
I like dancer pose.
Because you're a dancer.
Right. Typical Trica. And then Happy Baby.
Wow. I thought you were going to say Half Moon. Oh, wow. Happy Baby.
Half Moon's fun, too.
I love Half Moon. Half Moon and Triangle are my poses.
Yeah, that's open. Nice. You feel so open and heart up to the wall. So
love it. And what would be your favorite mantra right now?
My favorite mantra right now? Ooh. So this has all been very new, and it feels like it's happening all really fast, which has caused a lot of panic. Like, I know we're talking about courage and finding our calling, and I do stand on that. But I would be lying if I didn't say this has like completely scared me in a way and caused a lot of panic. But one of my favorite mantras that I've been like telling myself is to turn your panic into pride. Because if you're panicking about something, it probably means you really care about it, or you're really trying. So instead of focusing on like the fear and the scared feelings, focus on the pride of it. Focus on like how much you like love it, like how hard you've put in, or how much hard work you've put in.
That's beautiful.
So turning your panic into pride has been my favorite mantra so far. And it's really brought me back. Like, okay,
love it.
I can do this.
I love what you're saying. It must mean something to you if you're panicking. That's such a great,
like it means you care. Like,
well, what a great way to close this episode. Everybody watching, turn your panic into pride. Give yourself grace.
Happy Pride Month.
And come see Trica at Montra.
Say it fast.
Mantra Mondays.
That's
Mantra,
it.
Mantra,
You gotta
Mantra.
say it fast. You have to.
You have to. Just say MMM. Mantra Mondays.
M3.
All right. Check her out. Follow her on Instagram and go get some matcha.
Cheers.
Thanks for tuning in, everyone. We talk raw.
Thank you.